You have 4 more
But
teams.
you got to think those people on that committee are not going to allow that.
Right. It's just too much SEC.
Not that there would be politics involved in any of these selections.
No, not at all.
But it's just based strictly on the rankings, though.
I'm just saying they wouldn't rank.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're good. They're going to finagle
Where
the
you would
rankings.
have a playoff team plus 3 more for a total of 4.
You're saying a little finagling of the rankings.
A little bit. I don't know. I mean,
although
I'm just saying.
But
that would be impressive.
Because the bowls, I'm sure, would be pushing for it because they know the SEC teams bring fans.
Sure.
We were talking yesterday about, I think it was yesterday, about Penn State. Penn State, who have they beaten? They have 2 losses against the teams in their division in Michigan and Ohio State. And who have they beaten? Like, it's almost like we but we think they're better than what they really are. And they're in that mix. I don't know if they'd beat Ole Miss if they went head-to-head. I think I'd probably pick Ole Miss to beat them. And Missouri, I think I'd pick Missouri to beat them. Not that it's been a stellar year for the SEC. I still think they're better than Penn State, but they get the nod because of who they are. We're Penn State.
Right.
But what have they done? So, I mean, that's one that'll be in the New Year's Six. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that, could be all the rest of them you think that they are deserving. The Texas, if they don't make it into the 14 playoff, certainly Washington, Oregon, one of them more than likely will be in the mix. Maybe not in the playoff mix. It depends on how it all works out. But, yeah, I mean, there's enough at-larges where I could see those 3, Missouri, Ole Miss, Alabama, all getting picked.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Do you know now, I guess there's still technically going to be a Pac-12, which I don't understand at all with 2 teams. But the bowls that have Pac-12 ties, do they redo a new contract with another conference right now, or for the next? Because your contracts run through what 2000
through the 25 seasons. So this year plus the next 2 seasons, 24 and 25.
Or will they just be that'll just be a free spot? They'll just be able to go wherever.
I would think, Eli, that those bowls will have to go out and find new bowl partners, unless and. My good buddy Mark Neville runs the Holiday Bowl, and I need to look at their selection process within the Pac. I want to say the Holiday Bowl may have the first choice of teams out of the Pac once you get past the playoff.
Well, I know we know who,
but I need to look at that.
They'll have one of 2 teams for the next.
Because if you have the first choice, they're likely will be a team, but if you're below that, then you got to go find somebody to fill.
You're just, we got Oregon State again this year.
The Beavers are coming back to town.
Sun Bowl has Pac, Alamo Bowl has Pac, and I got to think, they're in search of.
First of all, it doesn't even make sense that they are still going to be considered a conference with 2 teams. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I think there's a 2-year window where they have to get 8 teams. And I saw one note late last night or this morning. They're in conversation with the Mountain West over a scheduling relationship.
Oh, yes, it's happening.
Which, again, if you're doing the scheduling relationship, how about you just join the conference? I don't understand.
They're going to be ineligible to get into the playoff, right?
And I think
they get the playoff as an at-large.
And I know you guys were talking about attorneys earlier going into that last break, but I think that's where the attorneys come in. Because you got what do the contracts that are currently in place in the membership of the PAC dealing with all the money, TV revenue, bowl revenue, and all those other sources of revenue. What happens to all that cash if you do break up? I think that's why the 2 schools are trying to hold this thing together.
Well, there's also
so that they can lay claim. Wait, we're the last 2 standing here.
Right.
You got
that money stays with the conference. We get all that money. I think that's in simple terms something that they're fighting over.
NCAA tournament money is paid out over years, so there's a lot there. And then
shares and all that.
This year's bowl money, all that stuff. But it's just they're talking about there will still be the Pac-12 logo on the fields next year. What?
So stupid.
How? That's so bizarre.
But Eli, I think that probably goes back to the legal issues that they're fighting, that as long as they say there is a Pac-12 and we are the Pac-12,
they're entitled to everything.
They're
that goes
entitled
with
to
it.
all of that. But once you wash your hands and say it no longer exists, legally,
when they put the logo on the field, they just need to forget to put the 1, so it just says Pac-2.
Somebody tweeted this out. I forget who it was. They tweeted it. They said they need to change the name. It's not the Pac-12 anymore, right? There's only 2 teams. It should be called Tupac. Have a little picture of Tupac Shakur. That's their little symbol now. Their little logo.
Be the halftime show at each game.
Tupac. I love it. All right.
It's just I don't know. I guess it is. I'm sure very much a legal maneuvering thing as far as getting that money that is still owed to the conference. I wonder, because if the conference just dissolved, those, I wonder where that money would go.
Right.
That it has earned.
Right.
They're like,
our friend Bill Hancock gets it. He gets all
a retirement.
He gets it. Yep.
His huge retirement party.
It is.
That would be
absolutely
that would be good. Sunrise, the place to go for breakfast here in Memphis. Have you been over there recently, Harold?
It's been about a week.
I have.
Yeah.
It's absolutely delicious.
They're the best.
Those biscuit sandwiches that they've got, or their bowls, or the kitchen sink. And, of course, the lunch menu is great as well with the sandwiches and salads like the bacon cheeseburger, the French dip. Sunrise has the original location, 670 Jefferson Avenue. And then they've got Sunrise East out in East Memphis there on Poplar Avenue. For breakfast, it's absolutely out of this world. But again, and a lot of people don't think about it as much for lunch, but boy, oh boy, the lunch is absolutely delicious as well. Sunrise901.com is the website, and you can order online for pickup to make it very easy for you to pop on in, grab your food, and be on your way. So if you want to grab something on the way to work in the morning, it makes it very easy to do that by ordering online. Sunrise, again, 670 Jefferson Avenue, and Sunrise East on Poplar Avenue.
All right, a little later on in the hour, I'm going to get some thoughts from Harold on the coaching moves that were made since the last time we spoke last week. Also, breakdown of what's going on in the Big 12. But when we come back, it's all about our Pick 6. So, Eli, we're going to need a participant.
Caller number 2.
Caller number 2 at 360-8255.
In honor of the Pac-2.
The 2-pack. 360-8255. Caller number 2. If you've participated before, whether you've won or lost, you're ineligible. If you have not participated, you're eligible. 360-8255. Dial up right now. Caller number 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Hey, everybody. That to-do list for the holidays? Well, you're going to want to write this down. Go to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. A lot of these new Silverados have red tags. And Kevin and Jeff said they'll get you financing as low as $1.9 or $2,000 cash. You can get one of these new Equinoxes with financing as low as $1.9 or $1,000 cash. And your good credit deserves it. And look, I'm out here in Olive Branch, and All-Star has any new Chevy you want. Tahoes, Trailblazers, and a lot of families I know love these new Traverses with all the cargo space and third-row seating. And so can you. And do more together this holiday season. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare. You get $500 bonus. And if you want certified pre-owned Chevys or any pre-owned car, All-Star has a lot full. Silverados, Ram trucks. Here's a Nissan Rogue, Lexus, Honda, Suburbans, Jeeps. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or even Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Be the change you want to see. Join the Memphis Police Department. Salary starting at $54,611, increasing to $60,713 after probation. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 in relocation assistance. Other incentives include pension, health, vision, dental, and life insurance, 25-year retirement, take-home cars, over 75 specialized units. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
All right, you folks have a gift because only one person called during that commercial break. So the next caller at 360-8255 goes up against one of us for $25 of Central Barbecue in our world-famous Pick 6. We've never had to wait before. 360-8255 to get in on the Pick 6. And we got some good ones this week, including one right here in Memphis with your alma mater.
We sure do.
Huge game.
None bigger than the one on Saturday. And, it's the old saying, the more you win, the bigger the games get. And this is what this football team, this football program, Coach Silverfield have been eyeballing all year long. Obviously, early on, there were folks who would doubt that they would have an opportunity to be in this position. But despite ugly wins, and who cares if it's ugly, it's a win, they are in position. Now, obviously, they still need some help, but the opportunity is there. And duty calls for me, and I'll be on the road elsewhere on Saturday. But looking forward to that, and hopefully there's a huge crowd, everyone participating in the blackout and supporting this Tiger football team. Because let's face it, and I put my Tiger alum, my Tiger hat on with these comments, is take a step back, remember where we've been. Yes, we got spoiled with Fuente and Norvell. No doubt. Those were great years. Mm-hmm. And we're going to a bowl game for the 10th straight year. Tiger fans should be proud of that. Regardless of how you got there, the Tigers have continued that string of bowl appearances. One of my things has been got to be competitive year in, year out for the league championship. They're in position to do that. So I say all that to remind folks, you got to remember our history, where our pedigree, where our program has progressed. The expectations are high and I think reasonable to be expecting each year to be in this position. So they're there. Regardless of how they got there, they're there at 8-2. We should all be happy, proud, support this football team. And again, at the end of the day, from my perspective, it's more about the players than the coach, who's a good friend of mine. And for me, I'm rooting for all of those. And again,
and Harold,
let's go get it.
Harold
let's go
is
get
one of the few that literally wears tiger blue glasses.
Yes, I do.
He literally has tiger blue glasses
I do.
on.
The preceding announcement made on behalf of Major League Baseball. Thank you, Harold. All right, so we do have our second caller. You can stop calling. We thank you. Dan's going to join us here in just a moment. But let me give you a recap from where we were last week. It was Ken going up against Mr. Grader.
Yes.
Harold, you deprived him of barbecue.
Oh, no.
Harold had the best week, 4-2.
I'll take it.
I was 4-3, Eli was 3-3, and Ken was 2-4.
Oh, sorry, Ken.
I'm protesting though, because if the darn Washington kid doesn't drop the ball before the goal line, they cover.
I know. Oh, please! You talk about a pet peeve. Stop it! It's not cool. Players who drop the ball before the. It's not cool anymore. Okay, so through 12 weeks, Eli 48-27-4. I am 47-28-4. So one game behind Eli. And Harold, you're 43-30-4. This is all against the spread. We're all making money here. We're all rich. Callers are 38-37-4. Game over 500. Versus the callers, Harold, you're 3-2. Eli's 2-1. I'm 2-2 with an asterisk. Callers are 5-7. We bring on shut up.
To cheat a guy out of barbecue.
Yeah, Dan is our lucky caller, number 2. Hey, Dan, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm with Harold on the Tigers. Let's just say Ray Dempsey, Rip Shear. I mean, I think about the coaches that we had to go through. This is a phenomenal time for the Tigers.
Yeah, especially older fans. They went through the dark times, the hard times, and they've certainly enjoyed what has happened here over the last decade or so. I don't know, maybe it's more the younger people that just don't understand and they expect to be in the Cotton Bowl every single year. But anyway, let's get to the Pick Six, guys. Dan, who are you going to go up against?
I'm going to go up against you.
Dan is going to take on Moi.
Enjoy the barbecue, Dan.
All right, $25 worth of Central Barbecue on the line.
Watch out, Dan. He'll try and cheat you out of it. But we're here to watch out for you.
That's all I'll try to do. All right, we start with a game that has kind of lost its luster. Georgia, after demolishing Ole Miss for some reason now, the expectation is they're going to Knoxville and they're crushing Tennessee. They're a 10.5-point favorite at Tennessee. It's always customary to begin with Harold Grader. Harold, is that going to be the case?
I don't know if they're going to crush them. It depends on your definition of crush. I was a little bit surprised by the number. Was it 10.5?
Yes.
But I was also surprised by the Tennessee performance last week. Now, we know Georgia's good. We know they're getting better, just like Alabama's getting better. But to go into Knoxville and it's 10.5? Holy cow. Give me the Bulldogs.
Eli.
Well,
you sounded like Corso now or something.
The term crush. What goes with crush?
Orange.
Yes, exactly.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard to, coming off of last week's performances, to not pick Georgia. Georgia killed Ole Miss. Tennessee got killed by Missouri. I wonder if we might see Nico, if they'll be willing to throw him out there against Georgia at all. Yeah, I have to take Georgia. I actually am surprised based off last week's performances, this line isn't a little bigger.
If we didn't have the results of last week, and let's say Georgia last week was going into Knoxville as a 10.5-point favorite, we'd probably all jump on Tennessee and the points, maybe not the win outright. But now after what Georgia just did, the running game, Carson Beck is really good. He's really good. I'm taking Georgia. Dan?
Georgia.
It's a clean sweep for the Dogs. All right, the game we just alluded to, SMU minus 8.5 at Memphis. Eli.
Well, again, looking at recent trends, last week's performance by the Memphis defense just, to me, I just don't see how you give up that many points to that Charlotte team. I don't know how they stop SMU's offense. And while I think Memphis certainly will score some points, I don't know they'll score enough to keep up. I'll take SMU.
All right, so the way I look at it is Memphis has won 4 straight against SMU at home. We know Memphis can score. They got the longest streak in the country of 20-plus points. It's going to take a lot more than that to win this game. I don't know if Memphis can win this game, but I do know they can cover. It's 8.5. I'm taking Memphis. Dan?
Tigers.
Harold?
Yes, sir. Tigers.
All right, so Eli, the only one that differs there. Again, an 8.5-point line. We go out west. Washington, plus 2.5 at Oregon State. This is my upset special. Da Beavers win this one.
What's not an upset?
That's right. They're getting points. They're getting points. I forgot. But either way, Oregon State wins this. They cover. They beat Washington. They stun the Huskies' chances of getting to the playoff. Dan?
Beavers.
In agreement on that one. Harold?
Huskies.
No hesitation there.
None.
Eli?
Well, despite the dropping of the ball before the goal line, idiot move last week that cost them from covering, I'm not getting off the Washington bandwagon. I'm sticking with that offense to go into Oregon State and beat the Beavers.
Yeah, and I love Michael Penix. He may be my favorite player in college football, and I think he'll still have a good game, but Oregon State to win that one. All right, Kansas State, -8 at Kansas. Dan?
I'll take Kansas State.
Kansas State to cover the 8. Harold?
This is a game that could impact our situation with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Obviously, Kansas won't be making a return trip, but Kansas State's in the mix with us. Oklahoma State, Iowa State, those are West Virginia. Those are schools that are on our board. I think this is going to be one of the better games of the weekend, certainly in the Big 12. I'm going to take the home team. Take the Jayhawks.
Okay, Eli?
Yeah, Kansas is pretty darn good at home. I'm surprised this line is 8. I'm definitely taking Kansas on the points.
I am all over Kansas in this one. 8 points at home in a rivalry game. Yeah, I'm going to take the Kansas Jayhawks. So there's one that you and I differ, Dan. Out in the Pac-12, soon to be the Pac-2, or the 2-pack, as they like to say. UCLA +7 at USC. Harold, rivalry game.
Wow, yeah, rivalry, but what a mess. Two football teams that are both sides. Just
and Chip may be getting fired, right?
Yeah. I was going to mention that. Saw that note last night. UCLA's lost the last 2. USC 4 of their last 5. Is that right? Am I keeping track with all of that?
I believe you.
They're both terrible. What's the line?
7. UCLA 7-point dog.
UCLA is
getting 7.
You know,
at the Coliseum.
I'm going to take USC.
Okay.
Not with much enthusiasm, but give me SC.
Yes, USC has lost 4 of the last 5.
Good job, Harold. Nice stat.
Now, those 4 losses have been Notre Dame, Utah, Washington, Oregon.
Pretty good teams.
So they're pretty good.
Pretty good.
The win was against Cal, who's not a good team.
No,
there's a pattern.
Funny how that works.
They lose to the good teams, they beat the bad teams. Question is, where does UCLA qualify? I don't think UCLA is that good, so I'll take USC.
Yeah, I'm going to take USC as well, although it scares me in a rivalry game. But Caleb Williams, they have Caleb Williams. UCLA does not have Caleb Williams, so he's the difference maker. Dan?
USC, they're playing for pride.
All right, so it's a clean sweep on the Trojans. And then finally, North Carolina +6.5 at Clemson. Eli?
I just don't have faith in this Clemson team. And I know North Carolina had the stumbles earlier in the year. I think they feel, I kind of feel like maybe they're kind of getting it back corrected and back on track. Give me North Carolina and the points. I think they win the game.
Yeah, I mean, North Carolina's getting 6.5. It's in Death Valley. Drake May's their quarterback, who's going to be either the first or second, more than likely, quarterback picked in the NFL draft. I want to take Clemson, but I don't think they can cover 6. I think Clemson's going to win this game by a field goal, so I'm going to take Carolina and the points. Dan?
Carolina and the points.
Okay, Harold?
You know, North Carolina can score fairly, not easily, but the offense is pretty good. Defense is where the issues are. They've regressed here down the stretch. They've given up like 40 points a game in their last 3 ACC games.
Yep, they gave up 45 last week against Duke. In the win, they gave up 46 in the loss to Georgia Tech.
So it's like, okay, Mac Brown teams usually play better defense than that. But all that being said, even though you're going into Clemson, I'm going to take the Heels and the points.
Yeah, you're getting 6.5 points.
Yeah.
All right, our best bets. Harold, your best play.
Best bet.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. I am going to say Kansas.
Kansas, okay. Eli.
I am going to go with North Carolina.
Okay. Well, mine was already circled. Kansas for me as well. Dan, your best play?
I'm going to take North Carolina.
North Carolina. We split there. 2 for North Carolina, 2 for Kansas. Dan, thanks for getting in. Thanks for listening. Good luck to you, man.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan.
See if Dan's the man going up against me in our world-famous Pick 6.
It's been a while since. When was the last time a caller won?
Let's see.
Was it the time you cheated him?
I didn't cheat anybody. You guys cheated me out of a win. That's what happened.
Rescue.
3 losses in a row, 4 losses in a row, 5 losses in a row. Yeah, 5 losses in a row by the callers.
Rough stretch for the callers.
That's why they don't want to call in anymore.
I've been enjoying that barbecue.
I know, you're getting big.
I'm tired of eating that barbecue. I wish you guys would win one of these times. Come on now. This hour of the program brought to you by Acura of Memphis, Ridgeway 385 online, AcuraofMemphis.com. Beautiful day out there. Beautiful day to go take a test drive in one of those beautiful Acura automobiles. Of course, anytime's a great time to go take a test drive and check out those Acuras, the new vehicles, pre-owned vehicles, certified pre-owned Acuras, and also deal with the great folks over at Acura of Memphis. Always just a great car buying experience every single time at Acura of Memphis.
All right, we'll come back, talk to Harold about the coaching moves that have been made. I know you alluded to the Big 12 a little bit. We'll get a little more information on where the Big 12 and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl kind of jive going into this weekend's games. We'll do that when we return. This is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour on Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The 8-2 Memphis football team is home for a huge conference game against SMU this Saturday, November 18th. It's a blackout, so wear black and cheer hard for the biggest game of the season. Tickets start at just $20 as Memphis football continues to work toward a berth in the American Championship game. Be at Simmons Bank, Liberty Stadium, Saturday, November 18th. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at Wingstop.com.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Scott Graham here from Thursday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up, an AFC North battle between the 7-3 Ravens and the 5-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Lamar Jackson and Baltimore lead the division but dropped a game last week, surrendering a 14-point fourth-quarter lead to the Browns. Join us on air and on the free live stream, sponsored by AutoZone, on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Thursday Night Football is on, and it's only on Prime. Tonight, it's a clash in the AFC North when Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals take on Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon, live from Baltimore. It's the Bengals and the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, and it's on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
The Shelby County Sheriff's Office is looking for people just like you to answer the call and start your career as a corrections deputy. If you have a high school diploma and our community is your calling, visit scsocareers.com today.
They call us Big Shelby. We one of the highest paid in the region.
You don't have to have a degree.
The pay here is wonderful. The benefits are wonderful.
I'm really financially stable. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
Yes, I feel very appreciated.
Are you up to the challenge? Visit scsocareers.com today.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
So, Harold, Sunday and Monday, we heard about the 3 firings, Jimbo Fisher and Andy Avalos at Boise State. And then the next day, of course, the Monday to open up the week, it was Will Arnett. And then Brady Hoke announcing. Zach Arnett. And Will Arnett's the actor. And then Brady Hoke.
Did he get fired too?
No, he announced his retirement.
I mean Will Arnett.
Oh, Will Arnett's still going strong.
Okay.
Got fired from something, I'm sure.
Yeah. Maybe a show or two, but he's still going strong. But anyway, your thoughts, were you surprised at all to hear the news, especially of Jimbo and with Arnett?
Well, I'll take those one by one, and I did watch Ross Bjork's press conference Sunday night. Listened intently and just kind of picking it apart. You know, Ross was very specific in his comments, and I had just seen those folks at Ole Miss a couple of weeks ago, and at that point I didn't sense that there was a change coming, but Ross made it very clear that this was not a one game reaction, it was a cumulative situation,
right?
And that the decision had been made after the Ole Miss game.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, that there were things in their processes within the university that were coming up. Steps that they would need to take to make this move official and make it happen. So he informed the president. They go to the chancellor. They accepted Ross's recommendation, which was to make a change. So all of those wheels were spinning after Ole Miss. So the big tail kicking that they gave State last week meant nothing because the wheels were already spinning.
Except for the State side.
Yeah, except for the State side. The other interesting piece, and because obviously ever since the big contract was signed and then they got the extension 2 years ago, everybody's been talking about the buyout, right? As a native of that state and knowing the mentality around football and money and all that stuff, I have always maintained there's no number too big.
Not for A&M.
And so Ross addressed the money. The initial payout, which I think is due within 60 days, it's like $19 million.
Jeez.
That money will come from the 12th Man Foundation, private money. The remaining incremental payouts over the next, was it 6-7 years, whatever that number of years is, that's like $7 or $8 million a year. That money will come from the football budget. And he made a point of saying, we are going to be addressing how we spend our money. He said, we can still spend at a championship level. I'm pretty sure that was the quote. We will continue to spend at a championship level, but we can do that, but do it at a lesser number than what we've been spending at. So they've already determined from a business perspective, where are we going to get all this cash? Big chunk, number one, 12th man. The rest of it's coming out of football. They can make that happen.
Yeah, tighten the purse
where do they
strings after a
go?
while.
Again, my first big ask, if I'm Bross, Mike Norvell. It'll be interesting to see who lands in that job. Zach Arnett. I'd go back, I correlate it back to the Ole Miss situation after Hugh Freeze. You had Matt Luke. You needed someone there to hold it together. Zach was asked to do that, and obviously much different situation, tragic situation, losing Mike Leach. Zach held it together. He was not going to be the long-term answer. He wasn't hired by the current AD.
Right.
He was hired by an interim AD, and they chose, hey, we're going into a new world in the SEC in 2024. No divisions. Texas, OU coming in. The world is changing. We need to lock in with who our long-term answer is. And unfortunately for Zach Arnett, it's not him.
All right.
And that's a much harder job to hire somebody.
Yes.
Because it's a much harder job.
Yes.
All right, so operators are standing by.
They sure are at the world headquarters of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in beautiful downtown East Memphis, 795-7700. Get your tickets now. Great stocking stuffer as we head into the holidays. The 65th AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Friday, December 29th, 2:30 kick, last work day of the year. So those of you who have to go into the office for an hour or two, you can do that. Take care of your business. Head to the ballpark. Start your holiday weekend. And remember, the January 1st holiday is Monday, so you don't have to go back to work until Tuesday. So we're going to have that long holiday weekend to enjoy lots of football, and hopefully the AutoZone Liberty Bowl will be a part of your football watching plans that weekend, and we encourage you to do so. Let me throw this quick note in. At our last Memphis Touchdown Club meeting of the year, announced our high school football offensive and defensive players of the year. Offensive player, Cordero Walker, quarterback from Germantown. Defensive player, linebacker, Hudson Schoaf from MUS. We selected the rosters for this year's All-Star game over the weekend, confirming that those young men will indeed play, and we'll be putting out those rosters here in the next day, 2 or 3. So look forward to that, our 21st annual AutoZone Liberty Bowl High School Football All-Star Game.
The holiday season, it's here. Where Black Friday is next week, and it's going to be holiday shopping time, and you want to get a good head start on that, head on over to Genesis Diamonds, especially if you're thinking about popping the question and getting an engagement ring for somebody this holiday season. Well, then you could go over to Genesis Diamonds and check out their amazing selection of diamonds and engagement rings. But beyond that, everything you could possibly imagine, one-of-a-kind designer jewelry, colored gemstone jewelry, rings, earrings, pendants, bands, bracelets, pre-owned Rolex watches. They've got it all for you at Genesis Diamonds at amazing prices as well. As they take out the middleman, direct importer prices on that amazing selection at Genesis Diamonds, located in the Poplar Commons Shopping Center. Poplar and Perkins extended Genesis Diamonds.
That will do it for us today. We appreciate you listening, folks. Coming up next, it's Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. And don't forget, we do have NFL Thursday Night Football tonight for you, beginning at 7 with the pregame. The Bengals and the Ravens. Our thanks to Ryan Silverfield, of course, to Harold Grader for joining us. We're back tomorrow bright and early, starting at 7 a.m. Among our guests, John Varlas talking prep football. Brandon Lang will join us to handicap the NFL and college football weekend. We'll also talk some Memphis Tigers football and basketball with Action News 5's Matt Infield, plus 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. For Eli, for Harold, for Zach, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everybody.